Hi everyone, I'm Cristina Fernandez.
And I'm Emma.
Nice to see you all tonight. Today we'll be starting the segment of Random Acts of Kindness, and I'll be interviewing Emma about the fundraising that the 2019 Schoolies mission trip to the Philippines did for a place called Payatas in the Philippines. Would you tell us a bit about Payatas and the work that Father Paul is doing there, and also about the conditions that the people are living in over in Payatas?
Yeah, totally. So Payatas is the name of a very, very poor area in Manila, the Philippines. We were able to visit it on our mission trip in November last year with the Schoolies trip, and honestly it is one of the poorest areas you will ever see. There's about 250,000 people there living on basically a rubbish dump, so a lot of them get money by sorting through the rubbish and trying to find things of value and resell them. But at the moment, Payatas is in a much worse state than it even usually is because of the coronavirus. They've actually had it in a lockdown state, and what's happened is no one can really get in or out of the area unless they have a quarantine pass, and only one person of each family is allowed a quarantine pass to get out to buy food every day. But other than that, they're not allowed to leave for work, anything like that. So they have no way of getting an income and therefore no food. So a lot of them are really struggling and really starving. And it's really horrible to see. But our friend Father Paul, who's visited many times now, servants of Jesus, and who we actually have become really close friends with through our various mission trips, he was able to reach out to us and ask us to pray and really telling us the severity of the situation. So yeah.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, well, I was part of the 2019 Schoolies mission trip, and I can agree with Emma that people there are living in terrible conditions, and it's really, really sad to see. So how did you find that you could contribute to helping people over in Payatas?
So basically, with our connection with Father Paul, who's working within the community, he's told us that him and the PNA Foundation, who he's a part of, have started creating food and medicine packages for those who are most desperate. So basically, at the moment, that consists of some rice, some canned meat and fish, or some noodles, I think. And they wanted to add some soap in there as well, but I don't know if they ever got the finances to be able to reach that, because they originally hoped to only reach 300 families each week and just give food packs to the most starving. But over time, more and more people have actually been really desperate. So he's had to create smaller food packages and distribute to a larger number of people. The other day he said up to 3,000 a week, which is a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, so because there's actually tens of thousands of people who are really starving, which is really high number and really difficult to try and figure out how to feed all of them. He's been asking for us to pray for wisdom for him on how to discern how to go about that. So yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that's where our funds are going. They're all going towards creating those food packages. And Father Paul's been really good, keeping us in the loop about how he's going about it. So we're very blessed.
How do you think the people in Payatas are feeling at the receiving end of getting all this help and support?
Yeah, really grateful. I know Father Paul especially has been messaging us. Also because the Australian dollar actually goes a very far way over there as well, and it's pretty easy and cheap to buy things like rice and staple foods. So our little contributions can go really far in making a massive difference, even saving lives on the edge of starvation, which is crazy to think about. The little couple of dollars that we can spare can go so far in that way, and they're so grateful. So
yeah, wow. So yeah, from visiting the Philippines, we saw a lot of poverty there, and people were living in the absolute worst conditions. They didn't even have their basic physical needs met. But although people were really physically poor, they're so spiritually rich because of their dependency on God to provide for them. And I think it's such a contrast to the Western world where, physically we have everything we need and more, yet we are spiritually poor. And now during this time with COVID, I think that's being a bit shaken, where people they're not in their comfort zones, they can't control their physical needs as much. And it's a great opportunity for people to become more dependent on God as their provider. And how do you think during these uncertain times in our Western world, how do you think that we can outreach to others within our own sphere of influence, whether it be in our workplace, whether you're working from home and doing Zoom calls, or in your own home with your family or friends or your neighbourhood? How do you think we can be Christ to others?
Yeah, no, I think you're so right as well when you're talking about the fact that God is really trying to get people's attention in this time. And really get us to become more selfless, which is something Joe's been talking about a lot as well on Sundays. And I think, honestly, the biggest thing is to not underestimate the value of stopping for the one, which is something that people like Heidi Baker are always emphasizing, because that's really the heart of God, you know, like Jesus came to die for all of humanity, but he would have done it if it was just one person as well. So I think, firstly, like, pray to God and you know, seek who he wants you to reach out to. It could just be one person, like it could be the crazy woman down the road who he might want you to help with, like, groceries or something like that. It could be like writing your nan a letter and making sure she's okay. It could be like, I don't know, our family has made friends with a homeless person at the 7-Eleven down the road. His name is Paul, and even just by like buying him coffees and giving him a few dollars every day, that's spreading the gospel, and that's giving us, you know, a relationship to be able to share Jesus with him. But, you know, totally, like, if God's putting something like a bigger cause on your heart as well, go for it. Like, you'll never have an opportunity like this ever again to be able to spread the word so easily, especially online. Like, literally everybody is like on their phones, everybody is online at the moment, and we're in the Western world, like, all eyes are on us, but it's about time that we, I don't know, we use the resources and the time that we have been blessed with now to be able to give back to God in loving those who need it.
It really ties into the theme of Easter, where Jesus, you know, he died for the one. So, I mean, we should die within ourselves to outreach for others as well. And also, I think by outreaching to others during this time, especially if they're struggling through something, they can always, that you'd be someone they can count on, and they'll never forget your kindness and the way that you approach them, like even if you just had a conversation with them or you actually helped them with something that they needed. So it'll forever change people's lives. So I just have one more question, Emma. So as a body of believers, what do you think is the importance of reaching out to others, not just as a single person alone, but as a community of believers to people?
Yeah, totally. It's been a real blessing, actually, to be able to raise as a team with the Schoolies 2019 mission team. Really how it started was just like talking on that chat, being like, hey guys, here's the situation. They're really struggling right now in Fernandez, like people who we've met before. Do we want to, like, I'm thinking of starting a GoFundMe page. What do you guys reckon? Like, do we want to run with that? And everyone was so on board with it, and it was such a blessing to have that community and that support, and knowing that, like, it's not kind of all on you. And I think, like, when we do stuff like that, it's important to remember that we're representing the church, like, and the church isn't one person as well. We need everyone, and we need everyone's gifts. Like it says in the Bible, like, each person has been given a gift to use in bringing about the gospel as a community and as a church. And yeah, I think that's a real blessing to be able to run after the mission of love together. Like, God never put that on just one person, and we need everyone to be able to uplift us and encourage us and support us in that. So
yeah, that's awesome. That's so true. Like, without each other, we're lacking in the church, and yeah, God speaks to us all in different ways as well. So, you know, like, how is God speaking to you to outreach, and how can you do it with the church as well? Like, for everyone to contribute together.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I totally recommend, if you have God putting something on your heart, like, for a cause, don't run with it. yourself. Like, seek guidance, seek encouragement, and seek support, because, you know, this is what the church is here for. We're here for one another. We're here to seek God together and really to love other people as a community. So,
yeah. Well, thanks so much for listening tonight for the first segment of Random Acts of Kindness. We hope that you all have a wonderful Easter and eat lots of chocolate. And remember that Jesus is the reason for the season.
Amen.